You're watching Times XP. It's me, Dhritiyatri, and something big just happened in global politics. Quietly but very deliberately here, Canada is looking east and Washington is watching closely. Their Prime Minister Mark Carney is in China, standing face to face with Chinese President Xi Jinping, not for any sort of ceremony, not for optics, but for a reset. Well, the visit is not routine diplomacy, it is a message sent straight to the United States. In fact, just days ago, Donald Trump said something really stunning, something that shook the geopolitics and something that was really dismissive, something that shook Ottawa. I don't need Canada. Now, that one line, it changed everything. For decades, Canada's foreign policy had one anchor. That anchor was the United States. Trade security, NATO, the Arctic, all tied to Washington here, and now that particular anchor is slipping. And Canada is exploring other options now. Then enters Beijing. Mark Carney's China visit signals a dramatic shift here, a recalibration, a search for leverage. Canada is quietly saying that if Washington pulls away, we don't stand alone. Carney's meeting focused on trade, supply chain, investment, and technology. But you know what? Beneath the polite handshake lies a harder reality: geopolitics. China is expanding its influence not just in Asia but in America's own backyard. And Canada sits right in the middle of that particular map. The Arctic makes this even bigger, by the way. Melting ice, new shipping routes, and untapped resources may turn the entire region into a strategic turbulence. China wants access, the US wants control, and Canada owns the geography here. And now Canada is playing both sides, which means the US is nervous, very nervous. Well, this is what pivot looks like, right? Not loud, not dramatic, but decisive. Ottawa is signaling that it will not be taken for granted, dismissed, or sidelined. Trump said that he don't need Canada, but Canada is responding without saying a word by shaking hands with China. This is not about friendship, it's about options, and options shift power. If Canada deepens ties with Beijing, the balance will change completely in trade, in diplomacy, in the Arctic, and in America's backyard as well. Great power shifts do not always begin with wars, ladies and gentlemen. Sometimes they begin with meetings, visits, quiet conversations in Beijing. Canada has made its move, and now the world waits to see how the US will respond.